My whole life I had one goal, and that was to become a professional soccer player. And I didn't have a plan B. That's it. That's all I ever wanted to do. Long story short, I went to high school at Whitfield. We won 3 state championships, small school, class 1. And then I went to Maryville, which is D2 school here in Missouri, but I ultimately chose to go there. I had some D1 offers starting in, my sophomore year when I was playing academy. The Wake Forest coach called my senior year, and we went to a showcase in January. My senior year headed into my freshman year of college. One of the coaches called me on my cell phone and wanted me to fly me out to Wake Forest that coming week, and instead I signed the papers to go to Maryville that coming week. I figured that school was really expensive, and by that time I figured they had given away their scholarships to other players and wouldn't have any more left over. I should have entertained that though and went and seen what it's all about, but I didn't. And I ultimately went to Maryville because I knew I loved the coach first and foremost. He went to my high school, amazing guy. I didn't have to pay anything. I got a full ride essentially, and knew I was going to play for all 4 years, and I just wanted to get that experience right off the bat instead of going D1 and sitting for 2 years. And my ultimate goal was always to go overseas and play anyways. So that's what I did actually a couple years into Maryville. I think after my sophomore year, going into my junior year, I went overseas to a combine and got scouted by this amazing scout there. He actually is affiliated with an EPL side right now, Brentford. But back in the day, he was a head scout for a couple of League One teams. I know Oldham and Notts County. I trained with him multiple times, and then he got me a trial of sorts with Notts County. It wasn't with their first team, but it was with their U21 team or U23 team. I forget which they were classified as, but they're ultimately the second side, right? I was only there training with the team for 2 weeks, but it was amazing experience. I played with phenomenal players from all over the world, France, Ireland, England, of course. When I was there, Jack Grealish was on loan from Aston Villa at the time. So I was 20. I think he was maybe 17 or 18. And then Colin McGregor, I think he's more my age, but he was on loan from Celtic. And both of those guys are world renowned, world class. Again, I was not training with the first team. I was with a second team. But we ate lunch together. We trained on the same field sometimes, same half or opposite halves, same field. Not necessarily mingling up with those guys, but seeing them in the flesh. It's crazy to see where those two are today. You kind of sensed it back in the day. I would go to those games. Colin McGregor was just a prolific scorer, but then Jack, what he did at Aston Villa, what he does at Man City, you could see that even back then that he was going to be world class too. But anyways, that didn't pan out in England. Came back to the United States, went to a few combines in California, just went anywhere I could. Florida, was going to make it pro. The thing is, in the US, if you don't go D1, the scouts, even though someone will be where'd you go to school? And so they see your talent, right? But then if you say D2, they don't even know what Maryville is. They're expecting you to say some D1 school like SLU, or if you live in Missouri. But I didn't. I went to Maryville, and I can get into another discussion, but that's for a different video, of if I would encourage players to go D1, D2. Ultimately, I got back here, nothing panned out as far as going pro. So I got myself a job at a pharmacy, decided to actually go to pharmacy school. It was a 7-year program, and I just grinded it out. I loved it though. I absolutely loved it. And me falling in love with studying, trying to be a scientist, trying to be a pharmacist, I fell out of love with soccer for a bit. 7 years go by, become a pharmacist a little over a year ago now, and as soon as I become a pharmacist, I start falling back in love with soccer again. I have time to touch the ball and play like this, and I just started making videos of me just playing around at home, juggling the soccer ball, dribbling, and I absolutely loved it. Watching it back, I was like, I feel like people would enjoy this either for entertainment or inspiration. This kid's been out of the game for 10 years. Yeah, I don't know where it's gonna go, but this is just the start. That's a little preview of my story. Hope you guys tune in for some more. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.